I'd like to run through with you now a few of the basics of writing a historical essay. Now, a historical essay, as it says on this screen, is usually an analytical and evaluative essay that carries a sense of argument. It's not creative writing, it's not a narrative or anything else, it's not a feature article, it's its own specific genre. Now, one of the good things about learning to write a history essay is there is an actual clear structure, a genre, a general approach that's widely accepted for this form of historical writing. History essays are not the same as essays in other subjects. Therefore, it's not an automatic lay down misere that because you're good at English, because you can write something great in the context of a literature class, that you can automatically write a history essay. Likewise, if you're not very good at those other types of essays, it is actually possible to write strong history essays. They have a strong formula, strong structure that you can then apply in a whole range of academic subjects that share that same structure. When you're writing essays in academic subjects like history using this structure, you'll do okay usually. Obviously, talk to the teachers in these subjects, but if it's in religion, study of religion, economics, some of the sciences, geography, if you're writing an essay, the historical writing approach, this argumentative, analytical, evaluative style often pays off. And I'd also like to emphasize, before we go too much further in this, there's real value in learning this style and really focusing on getting it right, because it'll pay off in a whole stack of fields at university: education, psychology, public policy, government, political science, sociology, law, and a whole range of others. Wherever you need to build argument using evidence in a written prose form, it'll pay off. And for that reason, it's really prized in a whole stack of fields and professions. So let's get our head around this widely accepted structure. Just how widely accepted is it? Well, I did a little bit of research as I was preparing for this particular video, and I certainly was aware of some of these before, but I found commonality in documents published online from the University of Queensland, Harvard, Stanford, Bedoin, Berkeley University and the University of California and the University of Sydney, that all basically put out these study guides that agree on the way in which a history essay should be structured into sections and paragraphs. They all agree that you're not writing well unless you have an introduction, a series of body paragraphs or sections, and a conclusion. Now, each of these has a clearly defined function when you look through their literature. And that's the approach I'm going to be talking about here at school. If you follow those structures, if you have this section by section paragraph approach that performs the functions required, you'll tend to do well. The other part that goes with all of these structures, something that has to be within these structures, according to all these universities, is you need to have a system of citations, a system of referencing. Now, in an assignment, it should be easy to get this right because you use the APA style. You can follow the tools that you've got in Microsoft Word. But even in an essay, you should try to follow a similar system of citation. Move away from calling a source source 1 or source 2 or some other unorthodox system. Stick with what you know. Refer to sources by author, year of publication if you have to. In an exam at school, that information is given to you usually. So let's now talk about the writing style that all of these colleges and universities agree on. The historical writing style is almost always going to be written in third person. The essay you're going to write is almost always written in past tense. It always has an objective, not subjective or emotive voice to it. It's writing with a sense of detachment. And these styles of essays are always building logical arguments through the use of evidence. They have a thesis statement or a hypothesis that is logically backed up through a planned and structured approach that applies evidence to solving problems. To this end, a history essay must be carefully expressed and carefully worded. I cannot emphasize enough the need to allow for time to proofread, to run it through AI proofreading tools if necessary. Proofread it in person, proofread it with technology, but allow time to get the wording and the expression spot on. What does spot on look like? It's succinct, short, to the point, sticks to the word limits, doesn't waffle. It's precise. Words, terminology are chosen like, I guess, a surgeon would choose a scalpel. We're using words as weapons to make a point here. No loose choice of words. We're going for clarity. There should be no misunderstanding what you are saying. We're going for fluency, like water running through a creek. Smooth, one idea links to the next. It flows, there's a fluency. And there's a sophistication in your writing, a complexity, an ability to capture complex ideas in relatively simple ways. You can express big, complicated ideas, sophisticated ideas, with just the right words. Now, depending on the assignment work, the task work you've got, you can adapt or customize this approach for purposes, but be wary how you do that. You can use the essay writing approach to prepare for an oral, a podcast, a lecture, but be wary of messing about with the accepted structures too much.